don't mention the first one.
I'm kidding. I was kicked out of Olivia's first basketball game. Horrible.
As we introduce tonight, we've got our starters, number 14, Emily Wilkins, number 20, Cam Martin, number 21, Cameron Smith, number 23, Kenna Brandis, and number 24, Leah Shanks. Crestridge is coached by Katie Woolsey. Starting for Noster, number 3, Kylie Holyfield. Number 11, Caitlin Everts. Number 22, Jane Yates. Number 30, Lauren Hagel. And number 31, Olivia Frisbee. Noster coached by Renee Shippey. Renee actually a graduate of Crestridge, as well as Katie Woolsey. Katie had come through a couple years before Renee following her, and then going on to play, actually both of these ladies going on to play collegiate ball through their time there at Crestridge. And we'll get set to start. Noster in their home whites, Crestridge in their away greens. Jumping for Noster is Olivia Frisbee. And stepping in for Crestridge is Cam Martin. Noster wins the tip. Goes to Yates. Yates over to Hagel. Hagel feeding Kaylee Holyfield. Nice trap there, tried on the rebound by Cam Martin. Cam with a little hesitation move, passes it around over to Shanks. Shanks looking inside to Cameron Smith. Dribble drive by Crestridge. Foul called outside. Goes against Noster. And that one's going to go against Jane Yates. First baseline out of bounds for us to see by the Crestridge Cougars, taken by Cam Martin. She penetrates into the paint and lays one in for the Cougars. Cougars first on the scoreboard. Lauren Hagel, though, reversing the ball through. Jane Yates spots up from 3, attempts to drive herself, and she's fouled on the floor as well. Crest Ridge with her baseline out of bounds. Foul's going to go against number 23, Kenna Brandis. Hagel to throw it in. Flare out by Caitlin Everts. Back over to Holyfield. Holyfield with a floater. Lauren Hagel with a rebound on the backside. Caitlin Everts feeds Hagel again. Hagel with a drive as she's fouled again on the baseline. This time the foul's going to go on number 24, Leah Shanks. Holyfield to throw it in. 4 flat for the Lady Panthers. Reversing through Frisbee. Trying to go over the top on a screen to Olivia Frisbee. High off the glass, and Olivia puts Noster on the board. Quick fast break opportunity for the Crest Ridge Cougars, but they turn it over as number 23, Kenna Brandis, was not able to control the pass. Just a little bit high from the point guard. Holyfield now trying to get it across the line. Gets it over to Caitlin Everts. That's Yates for 3. Good rebound there by Olivia Frisbee, but she rushed her shot. Breaking out for the Lady Cougars is number 23, Kenna Brandis. Yates reverses the ball through Holyfield. Holyfield gets it across the timeline. Struggles to hold on to it. Hagel now penetrating. That's going to be the second foul called on number 23, Kenna Brandis. She's going to have to come out. Looks like they've already got their sub up there for her, number 12, Becca Francis. And actually, Becca's going to come in for number 21, Cameron Smith. Yates to throw it in. Up to Everts. Motion offense from the Lady Panthers. Floater thrown up by Yates is blocked by number 23, Kenna Brandis. Handoff to Cam Martin. Nice hustle play, but as she goes through the individual, number 11, Caitlin Everett's going to be called for her first personal, team second. Shanks to throw it in for the Lady Cougars. Nice switch by the Cougars. Everett's now on Martin. Martin with a floater coming through the lane. She misses just long, gets her own rebound. And there's going to be a foul called on number 30, Lauren Hagel. And that's going to send number 14, Emily Wilhite, to the line. She'll shoot 2. Wilhite puts the first of 2 in. Gives the Cougars a 5-2 lead. Wilhite misses a second. Rebound by Frisbee, taken up the floor by Caitlin Everts. Everts to Hagel. Hagel looking into the corner for Holyfield. Holyfield with a head fake, reversing through Jane Yates. Yates back out to Hagel. Hagel feeding the big inside. And a great move by Olivia Frisbee as she puts another high one off the glass. She has all 4 of Noster's points. Nice fast break there from the Crest Ridge Cougars. Brandis gets her own rebound. Cam Martin with a toe on the line. And the rebound's going to go long to Caitlin Everts. Foul called in the lane by the center official. That foul's going to go back on number 23. And that will be actually Brandis' second foul. So Brandis already finding herself in foul trouble here for the Crest Ridge Cougars. Hagel from the top looking for that Little up screen for Olivia Frisbee again. Hagel now driving the baseline. Dribbles it out of bounds. Good defense there by Emily Wilhite for the Lady Cougars. Full court pressure put on by the Noster Lady Panthers. Broken in the middle, just as they should. Martin with a little hesitation. She lays one in for the Lady Panthers. And she has the Lady Cougars. She has 6 of the Cougars' points. Wilhite on the steal. Lays one in for the Panthers as well. They go up 9-5 on the Lady Panthers. Full court pressure by the Cougars. Taken across the timeline by Holyfield. Holyfield's pass tapped. Numbers for the Lady Panthers. Nice move by Lauren Hagel, but she is unable to convert. She hits it off the bottom of the backboard. Nobody stepped up and stopped ball for the Lady Panthers, but Cameron Martin unable to finish the layup. 3-point by Jane Yates, just short for the Lady Panthers. Tried to save by Olivia Frisbee, but she bangs it off the back of the backboard. Checking back in for the Lady Cougars is number 21, Cameron Smith. She comes in for Becca Francis, number 12. Full court pressure again by the Lady Panthers. Shanks is able to dribble herself out of that. Yates put some defense on. Unintentionally hit her foot, so no call there. Jump ball going to be called by our lead official, and that ball is going to go back to the Lady Cougars. Checking in for the first time for the Lady Panthers is number 12, Heaven Van Winkle. Also checking in for the first time for the Lady Panthers, number 13, Ayanna Perry. Sets Frisbee and Everett's down to get some much-needed rest. Everett's getting some attention over on the sideline after she went hard after that ball right there at midcourt. 2-3 zone. Set up by the Lady Panthers. Stepping out of that man-to-man as the Cougars use that dribble drive. Great pressure defense there by Lauren Hagel as she gets the turnover on the jump ball. Alternating possession did go back to the Noster Lady Panthers. Lady Panthers now find themselves down 9-4 with about 2.5 left here in our first quarter. Lauren Hagel penetrates into the lane, gets a foul called on the Crest Ridge Cougars, and Caitlin Everts will step back in for the Lady Panthers. Everts going to give Holyfield a rest. And Hagel on a 4 flat. Ball goes to Everts. Everts to Perry. Perry back to Everts. Everts with a nice drive into the lane. She lays it off the glass for a floater for 2. Cuts the lead to 3 for the Crest Ridge Cougars. Lady Cougars number 12, Becca Francis out to Shanks. Shanks on a dribble drive. Noster, though, staying in that 2-3 zone. And Cameron Martin tries to take it up herself. Nice rebound by Heaven Van Winkle. And now Caitlin Everts brings it up for the Lady Panthers. Reverses it through Yates, who tries to get it inside to Van Winkle. She cannot control it, and it's going to go back over to the Lady Cougars. 2-2-1, full court pressure. Cameron Martin breaks it right through the middle. Takes it deep into the lane, but the defense does stop her this time as they step in front and stop the ball. Cougars Shanks with the ball at the top of the key. Now they're looking in. Double screen over for Cameron Martin for 3 from the baseline. And Martin sinks that one for the Lady Cougars. And they find themselves up 12-6 on our Lady Panthers. Hagel to Yates. Ball was just a little bit low, and it's going to be a turnover for the Lady Panthers. Panthers pick up 3/4 court. Shanks blows by the defense. Opens herself up, tries to swing it around. No touch by the Lady Panthers, so turnover is going to go back to them. A little over a minute left here in the first quarter, and the Cougars lead 12-6. Everts to Yates. Yates to Van Winkle. Van Winkle powers her way in, was unable to finish. Perry comes in, runs through the defense, and she's going to be called for that foul. Her first, team's fourth. And the Cougars will take over on the baseline. Full court pressure, under a minute now left here in the first. And Cam Martin passes up to Shanks. Cougars look like they may try to hold for the last shot. Shanks on the dribble drive. Proves me wrong there as she tries to float one in. Good rebound there by Lauren Hagel. Hagel to Everts. 25 seconds left here in the first. And both teams are in attack mode. Yates with a pass to Heaven Van Winkle. Heaven lays it in. Scores 2 for the Panthers. Nice steal by Lauren Hagel. And Caitlin Everts is going to get the call. So with 3 seconds left here and Noster down by 4, Caitlin Everts is going to find herself at the line shooting 2. First free throws for the Lady Panthers here. 16 foul for the Crest Ridge Cougars. That foul went on number 12, Becca Francis, her first. Caitlin Everts misses the front end. And she misses the second. 1.1 left on the clock for the Lady Cougars on this sideline. Shanks is unable to get a shot off, and that's how we'll end our first quarter. Now Noster find themselves down 4 to the Lady Cougars, 12-8. This is our court mat games. So tomorrow night, our high school students will be taking a part in the court mat. Of the floor for seating. Nice crowd out here tonight to watch our Lady Panthers. Cougars will start with the ball here to start our second quarter. Shanks in her own backcourt, brings it across the timeline. Noster back in man. Nice switch. But Lauren Hagel's going to be called with a blocking foul as she disrupted the dribble of number 24, Shanks. Leah to throw it in for the Lady Cougars. And Shanks looking to feed inside to Wilhite. Wilhite high off the glass as she turned inside on Lauren Hagel. She gives the Cougars her first bucket here in the second quarter. Noster will be in the 1-and-1 on any foul. in this quarter. So looking at the bonus, we settle for a long 2-point shot. And Cam Martin brings it down for the Lady Panthers. The Lady Cougars. Cameron was fouled by number 11, Caitlin Everts, and finds herself at the line. She'll shoot 2. That is Noster's 6th foul. And Caitlin's 2nd. Martin sinks the first. And Ayanna Perry steps back in, gives Lauren Hagel her first rest. And Martin sinks her 2nd. Everts brings it up for the Lady Panthers. Passes over to Perry. Perry to Holyfield. Holyfield tries to drive the baseline. Nice trap by the Cougar defense. But the rebound was to Olivia Frisbee, who then receives a gift right in the middle as the ball gets coughed loose and comes right back to her. Holyfield to Everts. Everts driving. Still by Wilhite and the Cougars. Wilhite gets an and one as she takes it in against Ayanna Perry. And that will be Perry's 2nd foul, I believe, and the team's 7th. Checking back in for the Cougars is number 21, Cameron Smith. Travel called on the turnover there by the Cougars. Now Noster will throw in from the baseline. No pressure here from the Lady Cougars as they drop back into their half-court defense. It's going to be a man-to-man. Guarding the ball is Shanks. Ayanna Perry puts up a 3. And that is good for Perry. Cuts the lead to 7. Perry comes back now on defense. Nice stroke there from the top of the key by Perry on that 3-pointer for the Lady Panthers. Close defense on Martin now by Perry. Martin tries to shoot a floater. Rebound goes to Frisbee, and now Caitlin Everts brings it up for the Lady Panthers. Everts bump, no call. Brandis has 2. Wilhite gambles. It doesn't pay off, but it does disrupt the Lady Panther offense. Caitlin Everts finds herself in the right spot, gets away with a little double dribble, and is going to find herself back on the line. That foul is going to go on number 24, Leah Shanks. That's her 2nd, team's 7th. Both teams in the bonus. Everts putting up her first. She misses the first. Everts unable to convert on both of those free throws. And we're going to get an over-the-back call called on Olivia Frisbee. That's going to put Crest Ridge back on the line for the bonus. Shooting the free throws for them will be number 21, Cameron Smith. Smith misses the front end of the 1-and-1, and the rebound goes to Yates. Yates brings it down the floor as quick as she can, but reverses it back to the top of the key to Everts. Everts guarded by Shanks. Shanks to Everts to Holyfield. Yates inside to Frisbee, who's done a great job of battling in there. Wilhite gambles again. This time she comes up with it, comes all the way down, and she's going to be fouled by Ayanna Perry. That'll be Perry's 3rd foul, and I believe Noster's 9th. That's going to bring Estella Huntsman to the table for the Lady Panthers. This will be the first time we see Huntsman coming in. Once again, that's Ayanna Perry's 3rd, so she'll have to come out for the remainder of the half. At the line for the Cougars is Emily Wilhite. Wilhite misses the first. Also checking in for the Cougars is Becca Francis. Francis steps in for number 21, Cameron Smith. And Will Height to attempt her second. Emily drops into second, and that gives the Cougars a 19-11 lead here with a little over 5:15 to go here in the first half. Yates tries to penetrate in. Will Height all over that, and that's going to result in a jump ball, and the ball's going to stay with the Lady Panthers. They'll have another baseline out of bounds and go back to that 4-flat set. Frisbee to Huntsman. Huntsman looking to feed Frisbee. Frisbee unable to catch her feet, and now Brandis quickly gets it up to 4 for the Cougars. Nice entry pass from Shanks to Will Height. Will Height unable to finish, but it's going to go off of Caitlin Everett's hands and stay with the Crest Ridge Cougars. Switch over for Martin, and now switch back. Martin on the drive, tries to put the floater in, gets a good roll off of the front of the iron, and it goes in. Double-digit lead now for the Lady Cougars. Yates looks to penetrate, stripped by Brandis. Brandis to Martin. Martin looking to take it in all the way. Hits it off the side of the backboard off of Holyfield's defense. Holyfield with a rebound. Now she brings it up across the timeline. And the Lady Panthers set up their half-court offense. Caitlin Everett's going to go back to the line for the Lady Panthers as the foul's called on number 24, Leah Shanks, and that'll be her third. Leah's going to step out for the Lady Cougars, and stepping in for her is Michaela Chugg, number 55. Everett's misses the front of the 1-and-1. Yates gets the rebound, though, and then Everett's back in to get the slop left over. Yates on a baseline drive. And the ball's going to go out of bounds off of the Crest Ridge Cougars. Frisbee to Yates. Holyfield could have kept going on that flex cut and would have been wide open, but they try to feed Frisbee from the top, and she's unable to convert. Nice defense there by Yates straight up, but Martin rises up over the top and is able to finish for the Cougars. Small drought in scoring here for the Lady Panthers, as they can't seem to find the bucket here in this second quarter. Steal by Brandis. Brandis leaks out. Defense there is Yates, and Brandis is going to travel before she's able to put up the shot. And Heaven Van Winkle is going to step back in for the Lady Panthers, but we have a 30-second timeout called by Coach Shippey and our Lady Panthers. Once again, it's a great crowd here in Noster. As this place is packed out, we actually had to pull out both sets of bleachers. Normally on our mezzanine side, we put out our chairs for the teams, but too many people in the gym for us to be able to do that tonight. So a great crowd and a great atmosphere here for high school basketball. Brandis with a steal for the Lady Cougars. She tries to take it all the way in. Lays it off high, and Will Height battles for the rebound for the Cougars. Reset. Back up to Cam Martin. Cam through Brandis. Will Height inside, and a travel as she switched her pivot feet. Going to be a turnover for the Cougars. Checking in for the Lady Panthers for the first time is number 10, Michaela Howard. Howard steps in for Stella Huntsman. Howard up to Holyfield. Holyfield on a drive, tries to lay one in. Contested shot, and Will Height's going to get the rebound and bring it up herself. Will Height up to Chug. Chug inside to number 12, Francis. And our number 12, Heaven Van Winkle, is going to be called with the foul, and that's going to be Knob Noster's 10th. So that puts Francis on the line in the double bonus. Francis is able to convert the first of two. And that gives Crest Ridge a 24-11 lead. Sinks the second as well, now 25-11. And checking in for the Cougars is number 15, Kyla Brandis. Yates at the top of the key, sees a lane and is able to come through there. That foul's going to go on number 14, Will Height. And Yates is going to go to the line. So first time we've seen anybody aside from Everts at the line for the Lady Panthers. Yates gets her first look. She's in a 1-and-1. Cougars with 9 fouls. That's the third foul on Emily Wilhite. And Yates is able to sink the first. And she puts in the second. That kind of ends the scoring drought for the Lady Panthers. A little over 2 minutes here left in this half. They find themselves down 12, 25-13. Versu Brandis up at the top. That's Kyla Brandis. Into Cam Martin. Martin with a little up and under. And the rebound's going to go to Yates as she fights for it. Howard then passes over to Everts. Everts now trying to get it across the timeline. Everts with a nice crossover over to Howard. Howard with a good look at it. And Everts with the rebound on the backside. Nice wide open look there on off the penetration and kick. And Howard finds herself open again. Howard with a nice look there again, but unable to convert. Kyla Brandis picks up the rebound, and Cam Martin brings it up for the Lady Cougars. Martin penetrates and kicks to the other Brandis, who then passes over to Chug. So Kenna Brandis to Martin. Chug tries to feed it into Kyla Brandis. And it's another turnover for the Lady Cougars. Caitlin Everts with under a minute here in the first half brings it up for the Lady Panthers. Kyla Brandis with a nice steal using the correct hand, lays it in for the Cougars. A little over 40 seconds now left here in this first half. And Everts drives into the elbow. Holyfield for three. Rebound goes to number 21, Cameron Smith. Now Cam Martin brings it up. She tries to lay it in for the Cougars. Nice hustle by the Brandises for the Cougars. And a great pass there by Cam Martin to find the open 21, Cameron Smith. Martin just stood there in the short corner, laid it off, and the Cougars were able to convert. Knob Noster unaware of the time. We're unable to get one off. And that's how we're going to end our first half. Crest Ridge Cougars up 29-13 on our Lady Panthers. Once again, a great atmosphere, great crowd here, and a great game for everybody to be watching.
Commercials.
As we get set here, second half underway. Crestridge starts with the ball. They're up 29-13. Now Noster goes back to that 2-3 zone look with Everts and Holyfield at the top. Yates closing out on Brandis. Brandis with a three-pointer to start off the scoring for the Lady Cougars. Everts brings it up. Holyfield guarded by Martin. Into Frisbee. Frisbee reverses over to Yates. Yates drives the baseline. Shut down by the trap of the Cougars. And Hagel with a nice look from about 15 feet. Rebound there by Caitlin Everts. Everts through Yates. Yates with a nice feed into Frisbee. Frisbee back out to Holyfield. And Holyfield for three. And Holyfield has the answer for the Lady Panthers. Bucket for bucket exchange here in the third quarter. Brandis is going to get fouled from behind, going to go to the line and shoot two. And that'll be the third foul called on Lauren Hagel. And we'll see how long Coach Shippey allows her to stay out there with three. She picked that up within about the minute and 3 seconds here of this third quarter. Brandis actually missed both of those free throws for the Lady Cougars, and now Everts brings it across the timeline. Reverses through Hagel. Hagel to Holyfield. Holyfield now trying to go baseline. Throws up a floater that bangs off of the side of the backboard. And the Cougars bring it up the floor. Now Noster stays in that 2-3 set. Extended up top there as Caitlin Everts was well beyond the arch, guarding Shanks. Wilhite on the feed from Cameron Smith is going to get a chance for the traditional three-point play as she steps up to the line. That foul went against number 22, Jane Yates, her second, team second. And number 12, Becca Francis, steps back in for the Lady Cougars. And Wilhite does finish that traditional three-point play as she sinks a free throw and gives Crestridge a 35-16 lead over the Lady Panthers. Everts guarded by Shanks. Everts to Yates. Yates with a nice move, but didn't finish setting up for her shot. And Shanks is going to try to take it all the way in. Unable to convert that layup. Rebound goes to Caitlin Everts as she brings it up for the Lady Panthers. High Oklahoma 1-4 set. Screen goes across. Looks exactly like Oklahoma's old plays out of the 90s. And Yates going for the three-pointer from the baseline. Nice hustle there from Olivia Frisbee. Rebound was chased down by Cam Martin, but she steps on the inline. Now baseline out of bounds, going to go to Holyfield and the Lady Panthers. 1-4 flat set. Frisbee releases out of that post. High screen up for her. And she's going to take about a 16-17 footer. Rebound by Wilhite. Emily Wilhite, just a worker for the Lady Cougars. And that bucket made on the baseline by Cam Martin. Lauren Hagel with a pump fake. Is going to get number 12, Becca Francis, off balance. She'll be called with the block. Her second. Team's first here in the third. Frisbee releases out up to Hagel. High screen for Frisbee. It's not there. And Holyfield for three. A nice open look for Holyfield, but she's unable to convert. And Shanks will bring it up for the Lady Cougars. 1-4 flat set for the Cougars as well. Double screen on this near side. Coming for Cameron Martin as she swings through that screen. Sets her feet, same shot as last, same result. And Everts brings it up for the Lady Panthers. Holyfield through Yates. Pressured by Brandis. Cameron Martin with the steal. And she's going to take it in for a layup in the Cougars. Everts brings it across for the Lady Panthers. Through Hagel. Hagel had a nice shot, turns it down for a drive. A nice drive for her, but unable to convert. And we're going to get a foul called against number 12, Becca Francis. I believe that'll be her third, team second. A little over 4 minutes left here in the third. It is her third foul. 3 checking in for the Cougars is Brandis, Chug, and Smith. Everts releases way back to get that baseline out of bounds. Tries to drive it in. Just really unable to get their feet underneath them to take these shots. Turnover goes from Shanks to Chug, out of bounds to the Lady Panthers. Everts with a kick out to Yates. Yates drives in. Nice floater from her to put the Panthers back up. Kyla Brandis from the elbow. Hustle from her and Frisbee. Timeout called by Coach Woolsey and the Lady Cougars. It's going to be a 30-second timeout. So just a short timeout here. Noster down 41-18. Both teams with 2 team fouls. Got a couple girls that have 3 fouls and find themselves in a little bit of foul trouble. Lauren Hagel, one of those for the Lady Panthers. Becca Francis and Leah Shanks for the Cougars. Out of bounds here to the Lady Cougars. Tight defense from Yates on Cameron Martin. And Kyla Brandis is able to come across and lay one in for the Cougars. Cougars do a nice job of shutting down that baseline drive by our Lady Panthers, and Cameron Martin takes it through on the far side for a layup. Each girl steps up and helps. Backside slides down. They set a nice little trap and wait for you to kick it back out and recover. That foul's going to go on Kyla Brandis. And Heaven Van Winkle and Kenna Brandis will check in respectively. 1-4 flat set here for Holyfield and the Lady Panthers. Will Height reads that one, steals it. Tries to take it in, misses a layup. Rebound goes to Hagel. Hagel now to Everts. And Shanks leaks out. It's going to get bumped by Everts. And get it thrown from the sideline. I believe that to be Everett's third foul as well, and it is. Also Noster's third team foul. A little over 2:15 left here in this third quarter. Entry pass goes to Will Height. Nice backdoor cut there by Cam Martin. Great hustle there by Yates as she ties it up, and Noster will take over on possession. Great defense there by Jane Yates as she read that backdoor cut by Cam Martin. No look pass there by Will Height, but picked up and eventually tied up by the Lady Panthers. Everts gets into the paint, back out to Holyfield. Holyfield with a 15-footer, banks it in for the Lady Panthers. Panthers now down 45-20. Pressure by Hagel. Van Winkle with some great defense. Everts brings it up for the Lady Panthers. Pressure defense there by Brandis. And Heaven Van Winkle finds herself in the lane. Lauren Hagel drives it to the baseline. And that's one time where the Cougars didn't get over to help in time. The block's going to be charged to Emily Wilhite, number 14. Lauren Hagel's going to go to the line to shoot 2 for the Lady Panthers. Hagel sinks the first. And the Cougars check in 2. Number 12, Francis, and number 21, Smith, step in for the Lady Cougars. Hagel steps up to the line for her second and is unable to convert that as Francis, who just came in, pulls down the rebound. Cam Martin into Smith as she just waited for the defense to draw back out to her, fed it into Smith. Smith able to convert for the Cougars. High post screen for Van Winkle. Nice try on the screen and roll, but Yates was unable to connect with her or see her. And that ball's going to go off of Smith and stay with the Lady Panthers. Baseline out of bounds now for the Lady Panthers. Double stack set up at the elbow, goes to Holyfield. She steps on the line but gets the 3 call. Hagel's going to get it over the back. And that's going to go back to the Lady Cougars. Ayanna Perry steps in for the first time here in the third quarter for the Lady Panthers. And she draws the short straw to guard Cam Martin. Both teams running a little 1-4 high set, similar to what Oklahoma used to run. Shanks up at the top of the key. About 35 seconds left here in this quarter. Screen by Smith. And a reach-in foul is going to be called against Jane Yates. That's going to send Leah Shanks to the line to shoot 2. That's Yates' third as well. So multiple young ladies have 3 fouls here. Nobody with 4 up to this point. 31.6 left here in the third quarter. And Shanks sinks the first for the Cougars. Kyla Brandis and Michaela Chugg check back in for the Lady Cougars. And Shanks is able to convert on a second free throw as well. Caitlin Everts closely guarded by Leah Shanks. Now to Holyfield. Holyfield with an open 3. Just banks it off the back of the iron. Great hustle there by Caitlin Everts. And Ayanna Perry is going to show some good sportsmanship and help up Brandis. Ball's going to stay with the Lady Panthers. And Yates to throw it in. Tipped back by Shanks, and Everts is going to take it all the way back in Noster's backcourt. She does get the shot off in time, but is short for the Lady Panthers. And that's how we'll finish the third. Cougars up 49-21. Once again, though, this is a great atmosphere here tonight. Noster came out, and the Cougars traveled well as they're just to the west of us here on 50 Highway. So Noster in a pretty deep hole here for our last quarter. Down 49-21 as we start our fourth quarter here. These girls have hustled though all the way through. No give up in these Lady Panthers as they get set here for the fourth. And it's going to be their ball here on the near side to start this quarter. Actually, it's going to be the Cougars' ball to start this fourth quarter. We'll hide into Shanks as we start. Will Height tries to get Martin to go back door. She does, but she's unable to convert the layup. Looking for a foul as she did get bumped, but was not called. Holyfield now kicks out to Perry. Perry for three. Her second attempt. She's 1 for 2 tonight from 3-point. Good sportsmanship shown by both teams there as Perry was down and Will Height stopped to try to help her. And Cam Martin finishes that play off with a three. That three-pointer does put Noster up by 30, so there will be a running clock for the remainder of this game unless Noster breaks into that 30-point lead. Will Height posts up at the high post. Hand off to Brandis. And the ball's going to stay with the Cougars. Shanks looking for that three, but she feeds Will Height inside. And Will Height able to convert for the Lady Cougars. Jane Yates driving the baseline. She's going to be fouled on the way up. And that will be, I believe, the fourth foul on number 23, Kenna Brandis, team 6. And I was wrong. That's actually her first foul. It's Kylie that has 3. And now Kylie is going to check into the game. She's going to come in for Cameron Smith. Yates to shoot her second. And unable to convert either of those free throws. Shanks with a little fake pass out to Brandis. Splits the defense and converts on that layup. Holyfield bumped out of bounds, but called out of bounds, and it's going to go back to the Cougars. Shanks to bring it up. 1-4 high set. Will Height and Brandis in the high post. Will Height catches it. Takes it in from the high post. Is able to lay it in for the Cougars. Everts to Hagel. Hagel with a nice drive as she's going to go back to the line as well. So Hagel finds herself up at the stripe. She's going to shoot 2 and checking in for the Cougars will be number 12, Becca Francis. And that's the 5th foul on Will Height. I'll tell you though, Emily Will Height played a great game for the Crest Ridge Cougars. Showed a lot of hustle out there, but she's going to find herself with her 5th foul and on the bench for the remaining 4 minutes of this game. Lauren Hagel puts in her first. Checking in now is Ayanna Perry and Estella Huntsman for the Lady Panthers. Hagel puts both of those in for the Lady Panthers. But the lead is still over 30 and the clock will still run. Perry pressures Martin. Noster back to that 2-3 zone set. Nice pressure there and way to transition back down and close out by Lauren Hagel. Extended 2-3 as you see Huntsman well past that 3-point line. Martin unable to convert from the baseline. Everts to Hagel, pressured by Brandis. And Everts unable to get the ball before it goes out of bounds. Now checking in will be Van Winkle and Howard for the Panthers, sorry. And checking in for the first time for the Lady Cougars is number 10, Jasmine Myers. Kyla Brandis with too many steps as she took the entry pass over on that far side. And now stepping in for the first time for Noster is Sierra Harris. Sierra brings it across, taking over Caitlin Everett's role. And Brandis with the steal. She's going to take it all the way in. Foul's going to be called against Howard. Brandis is going to go to the free throw line to shoot 2. And these 2 shots could take up most of the minute and 40 seconds that's left here in this game. Brandis converts the first. 59-24 now here with a minute 25 left in this game. And Brandis come across the line before the ball hit the rim, so that line violation is going to turn it over to the Lady Panthers. A minute left here in the game. Sierra Harris brings it across the timeline for the Lady Panthers. Up to Estella Huntsman. Estella with a crossover to Howard. Howard skip pass over to Huntsman. And Heaven Van Winkle drives, blocked by Brandis. Sierra Harris able to recover that. And we reset up at the top through Huntsman. Ball was touched, so no backcourt. Heaven Van Winkle was able to almost recover it, but she says she is the last to touch, and the ball's going to go over to the Crest Ridge Cougars. Chug with a baseline shot. And Harris is going to bring it up with 5 seconds left here in this game. Shanks gains a steal at the end and respectively runs out the clock, and that's how we're going to finish. 59-24. A great game here at Noster between 2 great teams with great sportsmanship.